Welcome back, everyone. Hello. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining me on Natural Flow at K Solutions Therapeutic Services. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Nicole. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I am here to talk about all mental health, the good, the not so good, the indifference. We're here to have discussions, safe place to have our discussions. Hope everyone has had a wonderful week, as I love to be able to say. If you have not, that is all right. Challenges do face us, but I hope that with our time together for the last month and a half that we have seen each other, you have been able to look at some of my videos, get a few tips. More will be coming. So bring in your comments, bring in your suggestions, I bring in your feedback. I will take it all. Thank you so much for everyone who has supported this channel and has given me feedback to be able to know in the near future what you all will love to be able to discuss for topics. Today I really wanted to discuss about, everyone keeps asking me, when are we going to get into the relationship, the hot and the heavy? And here we are. I would love to be able to have our first discussion about relationships. And of course, everything in our world is a relationship. Our friendships are, our connections with our family is considered a relationship. Our connections with our pets is a relationship. But the most common one that people like to talk about the most, of course, is the relationship that they have with their significant others. So one of the main aspects that I wanted to, so many things that we can dive in deep into with that discussion, but I really wanted to stop and kind of talk about for individuals and begin with discussing about starting a healthy relationship and what that looks like. One of the aspects that I would advise anyone who is newly into a relationship is take your time, breathe, focus. And if you don't know who you are, and when I say who you are, meaning your pros and your cons of what you will accept and what you will not accept, find that out about yourself first before you dive deeply into a heavy duty relationship. One of the aspects of a healthy relationship, when I have my clients to ask me, what does that look like when it's a healthy relationship? That is what it means to that person. A lot of times when I have couples in front of me, it's really the base of communication, because we all communicate differently. So one of the tips that I would say to a newly single person diving into a new relationship is, number one, make sure that you recognize your pros and cons of what you will and will not tolerate. The second thing I would also stress is be able to feel comfortable speaking for yourself of what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate. Number three, look for those red flags. And yes, those red flags, you can call them blue flags, you can call them orange flags, you can call them purple flags. Whatever color you choose, if it doesn't feel right, you have to ask yourself, is this right for me? You don't want to get into a situation where you feel like you're in a stuck situation. One of the things that I would say when I'm talking to couples or talking to an individual that is seeking to have a relationship is, besides those red flags, you know what feels right for you. You know that essence of who you are in the core of who you are. And if you don't, you will discover that. Sometimes you discover that even when you're in a relationship. But you will know when that is the right person, as people like to express. It does exist, and you want to be able to listen to that. Not just your heart, but listen to the aspect of what you know feels right for you with that relationship. Some people say, oh, I don't like to compromise. Well, within relationships, that's step number 4. You will have to compromise. That is the essence and the beginning of that foundation, because we're all made differently. But one of those things of the difference and that indifference can bring such a beauty that we can find in any relationship that we have. It's just your perception of how you look at it. Is it a beauty or is it? Number 5, I would definitely say for myself for a tip is be able to be you. If you love quirky things, if things make you laugh that doesn't normally make people laugh, that's okay. You don't settle for compromising who you are to try to complete someone else. Make sure that those things about yourself that you even love about you come out in that essence. Today I had a conversation with a person where they gave me a wonderful compliment, and I said, oh, thank you so much. And I know a lot of times in life when people get compliments, they stumble. They don't know how to react. Do I say thank you? What does this person mean? Well, if the person gave it to you, you can either accept it or you don't. But if you accept it, find within yourself if you can find that essence of, yes, you know, what that person said about me is how I feel. One of the things that I start with my morning routines, and I actually end my nights with that, are affirmations. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we continue this journey together. Affirmations for me are positive, some people call them mantras, but they're a positive essence for you to be able to express who you are in the inside. So if you struggle with that, if you know you're going into a relationship where you are struggling trying to figure out who you are, I would say start with a mantra. Start with a simple mantra that you are able to, for yourself, write down. And what I do, I have it on a mirror. I used to have tons of it on a mirror. I've kind of taken a few off here and there now, but that's what helps me start my day, of being able to recognize who I am, but be able to also know that I can grow from the mantras that I don't always feel like are me, but I want to achieve those things. That first mantra can be as simple as saying, I am who I am, and I love it. Very simple, but has such powerful meaning to what it means. And we all have different meanings to what things mean to us. I would advise anyone to start with mantras. Start with those affirmations and see where that takes you along the way. Also, I would like to express that one of the things about having a positive and healthy relationship, not only is the essence of figuring out or knowing who you are before you get into a relationship, but it's also recognizing how you communicate and how and when you know you are triggered with things, because we are human beings. We're not going to always have rainbows and butterflies in any relationship that we're having. But we do have to take a step back for ourselves to recognize what are our ticks and what are our tocs, is what I like to call them. What are some things that trigger you? Because we've all had a past. We've all had a childhood. And everyone's childhood and past does not look the same. And it is probably 9 times out of 10, you will get into a relationship where that person did not grow up or have the structure that you had. So it's being able to figure out how to blend those two together to make that relationship work. Just like a cake. How do I blend these two ingredients that really don't seem like they may work? How do we blend them so it can come out as a beautiful essence or taste really good? So I would say if someone struggles in their relationship with communication, or they struggle with their anger, or they struggle expressing themselves, or whatever their struggles could be that sometimes causes a rift in the relationship, is going back to that list that I love to describe and express, is having that list for yourself of knowing what your triggers are. Knowing your, as people call them, the pet peeves. They exist. That is not just a word that sounds funny. That's something that we all have to be able to know for ourselves, of what our tolerance level is, of what a person can or cannot do, say or cannot say. Knowing that would be well to be able to have a communication situation with your significant other where you can talk about your pet peeves. You can have that discussion of, I didn't like it when you said X, Y, and Z. What I find in sessions a lot of times are couples not only not knowing how to communicate, but they don't know how to express themselves about what they're trying to communicate to the other person. So starting there, of writing out for yourself what your soul pet peeves are, what your triggers are, whatever you want to name it and call it, is a helpful tip so that you will be able to have that gateway of being able to express that to your significant other, but also be able to express that if you're in a counseling session, and being able, in a nice, good, qualifiable therapist would be able to guide you if you don't have those skills and tools, because sometimes people come in sessions and they don't, and that is okay too. A therapist would ever be able to guide you to be able to know, put in that toolbox for yourself of how to be able to express what you're trying to communicate with that person. I want us all to be able to have healthy relationships with individuals, and it takes time and it takes practice. And I would love to be able to provide more tips and suggestions on this topic in later times, but also I would like to be able to express that to couples or even individuals who are seeking to be able to know how to now step into that ladder of having a healthy relationship. I am here to be able to support anyone who needs that type of guidance. If you are in the South Florida area or in Florida, I can service all of Florida. But if you are in the South Florida area and you would like to be able to have that one-on-one time with me, I am here in this area. Of course, you can find me on Psychology Today at K Solutions Therapeutic Services. I'm also on therapist.com. And I'm also on Open Path Collective. You can also find me on that site as well at K Solutions Therapeutic Services if you are interested in having a licensed therapist to work with you, consult with you first. I do give 15-minute free consultations, and then we will discuss further on how we can embark on this journey together with therapy. I always love touching bases with each and every one of you, and thank you so much once again for supporting my channel. Please like, subscribe, and share these topics that we're talking about, because they are important to our world. As life is a journey and we cannot do it by ourselves. It's definitely a wave that we are on, but we just have to be able to surf it the best way we can. So until next time, we will have another discussion coming up very soon. Have a beautiful evening. Have a wonderful Memorial Day for those who do celebrate Memorial Day with this long weekend. And we will see each other very soon. Have a beautiful night. Take care. Bye-bye.